Hello, and welcome to the Happy Soul Show, where we believe the impossible is absolutely possible, and we believe that every soul is on their own soul's journey, and we all have many paths to get to that destination. So, welcome tonight. Tonight, I have an amazing guest. First, my name is Janine Roberts. I'm the host of the show. I'm really excited to welcome Beth Beyer to the show. She's coming all the way from Reno, Nevada, however you say it. And she is not only a lawyer, a nurse, a rabbi, she is also a QHHT practitioner and a BLSR practitioner. Welcome, Beth. I'm so happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you kindly for having me. I so appreciate this opportunity.
No problem. Thank you for coming. So, some of you out there are familiar with QHHT and past life regressions because you've been following me for a little while, but BLSR is a new one for me and probably for many of you out there. So, for anyone who doesn't know what QHHT is, that is quantum healing hypnosis technique. Beth and I both do this modality. And basically, that process is hypnosis, where we take a client through 1 to 3 past lifetimes, and then we go and we speak to their higher consciousness, their higher self, and ask questions about life, relationship, finances, life purpose, whatever the client is wanting to know about. And it's a very deep work, and it's very fulfilling work. I'm sure Beth will agree with me on that. And it's very deep work for the client, though. It's also, it just can be life changing. I know I've had 2 sessions myself. Another practitioner did a session on me 2 different times, and it was absolutely just empowering, life changing, and really helped me to clear some things up, things that had been holding me back, and just different things about my life. So, anyway, tonight we're going to focus a little bit more on the BLSR because that is a little different than QHHT. Is that correct, Beth?
Yeah, you're right. Between lives, soul regression is taught by a number of people. Probably the first progenitor, the guy who figured it all out, is Dr. Michael Newton, and he was so amazing. He had 7,000 patients. And at first, I mean, he was an atheist who absolutely didn't believe in an afterlife. He didn't believe in any of this stuff. And when he puts a guy under hypnosis to find out, well, where is this shoulder pain coming from? The guy popped into a last life being bayoneted in a battle in World War II. And Michael couldn't believe it. So Dr. Newton calls up, the War Office in England to find out, because he got the guy's name, serial number, and whatever from the past life. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is like, it's real. And it totally took him off guard.
Wow.
So the person that I learned from is Dr. Linda Backman. She is at Ravenheart Center. And basically, it's kind of like another layer of learning from past life regression. So past life regression is one of the ways to get to, quote, the spirit realm. And it's just so fascinating. I mean, when you quote, get there, it's like Disneyland. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, there are classrooms, there's library, there is any number of people from somebody's soul cluster or soul pod, depending upon the language you use. But yeah, it's a really fabulous kind of, and again, deep work for the client to experience. It's amazing what unfolds when people like lose their fear of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his story, the guy who created this, is similar to Dolores Cannon. She kind of stumbled on it accidentally. And it sounds like he kind of did as well. So
right, exactly.
So they have similar stories there. That's really interesting. So QHHT, for all of you out there, has to be done in person. And it's because it's such a deep hypnosis. that we want to, protect our clients, make sure that you stay safe, and that we're right there with you all the way. However, BLSR is a little different. You can conduct that online. So can you tell us, Beth, a little bit about what BLSR is exactly, and then also how the process works?
So the two techniques are similar in a way that the client is sort of gradually deepened into hypnosis, and at that point, the method to get to the spirit realm is literally to go through a past life and death, and then to track the soul to the other side. And, as I was preparing for this today, I was thinking, probably a lot of people have never experienced or listened to what a past life regression might be like. And so, with a client's permission, her name is Kathy Berry, and she may be on here tonight. She's also an author of a book, which is an amazing woman. Anyway, she's a client for both a QHHT and a Between Lives soul regression experience. But I do have a clip that I'd like to share, and it's only 2.5 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're excited to listen. I love listening to past lives and getting to hear all of the, just kind of follow along. And, I just get jealous because I can't see what they see, and I want to see what they see. So yeah, absolutely. Do you have that ready to play for us?
I do. And you can hear in her voice, so warming up to this part in her session, and the sessions are 4 to 5 hours long, right? So I'm only sharing with you a very small encapsulation of it. And if it's too painful or close to home to anybody, please, you can take out the 2.5 minutes here, but because it is pretty intense. So, but you can hear the emotion in her voice. We learned that she's in a village. She is feels like an outcast, feels a little different than other people. The other people are a bit suspicious of her. So
it's like there was a window and it's been covered, but I can see a little crack of sunlight. Do you feel trapped? Yes. I'm a prisoner. Can you describe where you are? It's a place they put criminals, except I'm not a criminal. It's a place they put undesirables. Are you still wearing the same shoes that you were wearing? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're not very comfortable, but they keep my feet dry. Who else is there nearby? I don't know. I hear voices, but I don't really recognize any of them. I feel utterly alone. Do you have a sense of what's going to happen to you? I think they think I'm evil. I'm not like them. Because you're different. Yeah. Oh God, I think they're going to throw me in the fire. I think they're going to burn me. But I'm not a bad person. Just know that you can observe what's going to happen. You do not have to feel anything physically.
okay. So yeah, you can tell it's pretty intense, you can hear the emotion in people's voices when they're under hypnosis. And the one thing that people just can't make up is emotion, right? I mean, like, is it a story? Is it a whatever? But like when there's that emotion that comes with it, it's like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
And Kathy has in this lifetime an incredible fear of fire. Now we know why, right? So, we work in hypnosis to release that kind of thing, to just let that go. And obviously it's, the past life that is really spilling over into this one, which is what happens sometimes. So it's so interesting to me that people can go through all kinds, and being a nurse for like 40 years. You think Western medicine's it, and they've just got their head wrapped around it and like can figure it all out. But truth of the matter, obviously, is that there's a whole lot more to our bodies than just our physicality. And the imprints that are left from a past life that kind of spill over.
Yep.
Somebody needs to fix up if that's at all possible. But hypnosis goes back to ancient Egypt. I mean, it's been done over millennia. It's not like anything new, but I think now things are a little bit different because people are sort of like expanding, as they say, the veils are thinning. It's a little bit easier to talk to people about this kind of thing. Can you imagine talking to this, anybody about this 40 years ago? Okay, so no, that wouldn't have happened so readily or easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and just for those watching, that was during a QHHT session and while she was going through a past life. So I'm sure you went through other parts of that life, and that was just the end, basically the end scene of
Right,
that life
right,
when she
right.
was getting ready to die in that lifetime. And so I just want to make sure everyone's clear. When we do these sessions, we do say you don't feel any pain. You don't have to feel anything at all, any sensations. And you can watch as an observer because it can get emotional. You're dying. And a
Right.
lot of times people, when they're going through a past life regression and we take them to that last day of that lifetime, and it is emotional. Sometimes it's scary. It could be they're being murdered or something, being killed in some way. And sometimes they're old and they're just dying of old age, but the sadness is still there because they're leaving their family or they're scared. And
I can remember one. I can remember one where it was, the woman had been literally a cowboy in a previous life, obviously not too long ago. And it was one of those where it was just such a pleasant kind of death. He had fallen off his horse, had hit on a rock, and just that was it.
Just
and it was not bad. I said, well, how are you feeling about this? And it's like, it's okay. It's peaceful. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. That was a Between Lives soul regression one. And for those, then we take them on to the spirit world, often to meet up with their spirit guide, their soul guide, their spirit team, then their soul family. So some of that is just, it's so interesting to me to hear how that journey goes for every individual. And they are very individual. And I learn every time I do these. For me, it's like such a marvelous opportunity for soul growth from a personal standpoint, because it's like nothing else. Nothing else comes close to learning this much about another person when they share with you for 2 hours about their lifetime and what they've done in this life and what concerns them and what their worries are and what they felt that they came in to do. And every once in a while, the spirit guide takes us to a future life, which is kind of cool too. I remember one particular girl, she was 18, and her spirit guide took her to a future life where she could have, and because like Dolores Cannon would and Michael Newton would go on about how just because it's a future life doesn't mean it will actually happen. but it's a possibility. And this may be one way that her life would unfold. And for her, she was really happy because she was a professional in a black suit with a purple, shirt and high heels and the whole bit. And she was working as a real estate agent. And she's like, I've never thought about that. After the session, we decompress, we debrief. And so she wanted to just be like, I'm so excited. For her, that gave her a trajectory. Didn't have to be. She may change her mind. All of that's possible. We live in a place of free will, right?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And we all know time is an illusion, right? It doesn't even exist. And everything's and I know that's so complex for our little human pea brains to comprehend. And it really is, but time is an illusion and everything's happening in the now. All the other lifetimes are really happening simultaneously. But I think that's just it's too much for us to try to understand it. So that's why we have to say this is a past, this is a future, this is now.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely,
and as far
definitely hard to understand.
Yeah, as far as the future goes, one of the interesting pieces about Between Lives is that there's the opportunity for the individual to go to the place where they will select their body for the next lifetime. I mean, honestly, it sounds like science fiction, but once you sit as a practitioner, and to be able to do it, I mean, there are hundreds of hours required and all sorts of things. But at any rate, now that enough clients have gone through it, it's like, oh my gosh, how is that even a thing? But I've had clients go to a place that looks like, literally a wardrobe and select a body. And one of the interesting ones that comes to mind about how there is no time was a woman who tried on a body that was a Dutch girl with wooden shoes. And her spirit guide said, all you need to do is set your sails and the winds of time will carry you. So that was kind of like a reminder that there is no time, that our past, present, and future are all now, and depending upon what we tune into.
Yep, absolutely. So how long does a Between Lives soul regression last? A session?
Often they're a little shorter because the interview tends to not be quite as in depth as QHHT.
Okay.
But again, of course, it depends upon the client, and the actual time is used more to deepen the client in terms of induction into hypnosis, and then to make sure that they're down, those brain waves between alpha and theta. You get those deepening exercises, meditations, and once the client is, quote, there, you can hear them talk a little different, right? They're very quiet and kind of focused on what they're visualizing.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone who doesn't know the different levels, beta is fully awake, and then we have alpha, which is a light hypnosis, and then we've got theta, which is the hypnosis state that we work to get you into in QHHT, and then there's delta, which is fully asleep. So is theta what you also work to get the client into with BLSR?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. So the session lasts a little bit shorter, but you still do the interview process. You ask about their lives. Is it similar question?
Yes. Yeah. Basically running through chronologically and more focused on what their priorities are today. What is it that they really need to or want to know? Some people want to know about their soulmates. And a number of people want to experience, like if they've had a loss, a husband, a child. I had one case where a woman, oh my gosh, her daughter had committed suicide after they had an argument. And it was really tough. But the daughter, came through during that BLSR
That's good.
session, and they were able to hug. And honestly, there, some of these sessions, I mean, people, there's just tears streaming down their faces, just like, she's here, and you just listen to how it resolves so many things for them that they can actually, I had one the other day where it was a brother that they had so missed, that they were, what happened to him, I don't, I'm so uncomfortable, I don't know where he is or whatever, and to meet up and have that embrace again. Yeah, it's just really
That's
cool.
awesome. That's important. That helps with closure. And and takes away some guilt and things that you didn't get to say those last things. You didn't get to tell them you loved them. You didn't get to give them that last hug, because we never know if we have
Right.
another day. And just being able to go into a session like that and reach out to a loved one that's passed, and to get that closure, and to get that to take away some of that guilt, and those things that people carry their entire lives, right? People
Right.
carry, things happen, someone passes, and that guilt will eat you alive the rest of your life. When you can let it go, when you can, reconcile, and then be able to let that go. So that is healing. That is healing.
Well, and it's true that, like, quote, on the other side, there just is no judgment. Frequently, clients in their BLSR sessions are taken to their divine council. And these are the wise beings who sort of watch over our lives. And, they're often met by their soul guide, and their soul guide takes them to whatever their vision is of their council. And, it's kind of funny because some people will say, oh, I'm nervous. I'm here in front of this, dais, this podium with all of these beings, and they're so white or so bright, or dressed, depending upon the client, they're dressed in these white robes, or oh yeah, they're dressed up as these funny kind of looking red things. Like, okay, right? And there's like kind of just joking and fun, and they always say things like, we love you. And, from almost everyone, it's, you're doing good, you're doing well, you've got this, we're here to support you. So overwhelmingly, it's a very positive experience for people. Every once in a while, like a soul guide will take somebody aside and say something like, you really could work on this little piece, or whatever it is. But almost always, it's 98% like absolute love, absolute embrace, and no fear. It's not meant to be like a fear kind of based thing at all.
I love that. And so it's a little constructive criticism if you need it, right? If you need, like, you're on the wrong path and you need maybe guided,
a little nudge. I've listened to those.
Oh yeah. Well, there's been many times I've not listened, right? There's times I've heard my spirit guides tell me what direction to take, and I don't do it. We need that.
That's free will here. We get to pick. Yeah.
I know that free will is not always a good thing. So tell me how'd you get started? Tell me how you got started because I know you were a nurse first, then you were an attorney, right? And then then a rabbi. Right. And now you semi-retired from all of those, correct?
Right. Yeah. I've actually, I've been a nurse for 40 some years, an attorney for 36, sit as a judge mostly on these days small cases, which is fine. And they're great, but infrequently, which is good because I love that work. I love, the legal system, and think it's really important to uphold our system of justice. But yet I've also wanted to move on to learn more. And a rabbi of a synagogue, Temple Beth Beyer in Reno, Nevada, which is a more liberal branch, perhaps somewhere more Jewish renewal between conservative and Reform Judaism, obviously not Orthodox. And that has been great and wonderful work, and still do weddings and, funerals and all that kind of thing. But the hypnotherapy has probably been a very personal quest for me in one way, because we had a son who passed away at 15. Mm-hmm. So my husband and I have been married 42 years, and Seth is on the other side and helps helps me out on occasion.
How long has he been gone?
It's like been over 15 years.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
And he was almost 15 when he passed away.
Yeah.
So I read Dolores Cannon's book, Between Death and Life, and was fascinated, and then just wanted to know more. And so it has been like a personal, a calling, a passion, a quest to really dig deep into, okay, so tell me what the spirit realm is like. I've had dreams. I mean, there have been, I can remember one dream about 3 days after Seth died. And it was more real than you and I sitting here talking. It was like a reality unlike any other. And so that was the spirit world. And wow. I want to know what it's like, okay, so I got a glimpse, but now I would like to know more. I mean, there's recreation on the other side. There's a divine council. There's a library. There's librarians. There's, people go to their classrooms where they are creative or they learn energy. I mean, the Between Lives work is really interesting. And I'm starting a class with Michael Newton's Academy, the Institute, in June, runs through the end of this year. And I'm really excited because every perspective teaches me a little bit more. I learn more from the mentors and the community, the other practitioners. So I'm really looking forward to that starting soon. And I'll probably meet clients where, you have to practice on so many, and you turn in your work and, keeping confidentiality, but that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. No, I love that. And so sorry about your son, but it's so amazing that we can connect. We can still connect. You can stay connected to him. And so many people don't have that. So many people feel like when someone's gone, they're gone, and they mourn and mourn and mourn their life away, when there is an option to connect, right? We can connect.
We just have these filters on, and the hypnosis will just move the filters enough for your soul, anybody's soul, to connect to the spirit realm. And whether it's QHHT or BLSR or any of the other modalities, if people find a good practitioner, it's really valuable because it's so transformative. I've had so many clients say, "Oh my gosh, it's changed my life." Kathy Berry, the woman who wrote the book, and we just heard about her past life. She has an autoimmune disorder called mast cell something, and it was so severe until she had her first session, and she said she can't believe it, but she had been doing the spiral downhill. She's 40% better at a minimum, and the subconscious told her that it would completely heal her. And she told me, because I contacted her today, and I said, "Hey, you should listen because I'm going to use your audio clip." She's like, "Yeah, that's so cool." So she said yesterday she climbed up 98 stairs and she walked for 20 minutes at a time. And for her, from completely laying flat in bed and not being able to be completely disabled, going out, on disability from work and all of that stuff, and it's not obviously just one person. It's so many people who receive physical healing in addition to the
emotional,
spiritual healing.
Mental. I mean, it's there. The healing is there. Our higher self has the power to heal us. We have the power to heal ourselves, but we don't really know how. And a lot of times it's belief, right? It's belief. So that's why during a QHHT session, we go deep and we speak to your higher self. It gets you out of the way, it gets your conscious mind out of the way. We get to speak to the higher part of you, the part of you that knows all the answers, the part of you that has all the answers that you ever need, and also can heal you. And during these sessions, people get healed physically. They're able to let go of past traumas. They're able to let go of past life traumas and be able to just live a better life. These are powerful. These are powerful sessions. This is powerful healing.
It really is. And it amazes me, being trained in Western medicine and having my head set on about, oh yeah, you just need to take this pill or this whatever. It's like, no. Really, it's all within. It's all within us to be able to change, to transform.
Yeah. And 90% of the time, well, actually, probably more than that, the higher self will say, no, don't get on medicine. Let's heal this. Let's heal this. We can heal it. The higher self is against medication because most medication is not good for your body. And, and sometimes the higher self will say they need to stay on the medication because they don't believe in the healing yet, or something along those lines. So it's really a belief issue. Is I'm going to say 90% of your healing is a belief issue. You have to believe it. You have to believe it.
And whether we listen to somebody like, Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's like, just meditate, you can get to that space, which is kind of like self-hypnosis, right?
Yep.
Or we look at Julia Cannon's work, which literally identifies body parts with the part that, is an emotional trauma, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So if we can learn more about ourselves, and whether it's through hypnosis or whatever form that comes in, it's all about growing, soul growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And if none of you have heard of Julia Cannon, she is Dolores Cannon's daughter, and she wrote a book called Soul Speak, and she also has a course, and it's just amazing how different diseases, different aches and illnesses that we have in our body are really related to something usually that's really not physical. It's usually a spiritual issue. Sometimes it's carried over from a past lifetime. And once we know that, we can let it go. Once we know, oh, I carried this over from this life, I don't have to have hip pain for no reason. You can let it go. And it's amazing. The healing can take place. And just like that.
And, they do, the spirit team or the SC, as we call the subconscious, or whomever.
Higher self, subconscious, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
In case nobody knows what subconscious is.
That's it. And it'll be like, okay, and yes, probably exercise and probably this and probably that. It's like it wants to sort of like, the physical body does need those things, or at least it's helpful. I mean, yes, we could completely like figure it out in our brain, but like Dolores would talk about how it's how we're moving towards a less heavy diet as we transform and grow, that, and of course I would be sitting here saying, whole food plant-based diet is really awesome because it's one of the things I teach at our community college. So there's so many ways to just assist folks in their own growth, in their own spiritual path, whatever that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, Beth, what has been your most interesting BLSR, between lives soul regression client? Like the most interesting thing that you've seen so far?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. I mean, from like the divine councils are interesting, right? Okay, so for everybody out there who's watching, we all know what a house looks like, right? A house looks like various places. In Europe, it looks different than America, maybe. That looks different than Africa. That looks different from, opal mines in Australia or whatever. So the divine councils come in all different flavors, all different ways of people expressing that. And, some people do see, the white robes and the various beings on
Mhm.
their, platform. One woman went to a beautiful stained glass, looked like um, crystal, and she was inside it. And the beings that met her were beautiful hands, and they came in different colors, and they had different expressions of emotion. And the reason that this comes to mind is because this woman's an artist, and so she sent me a picture later of it. If I can remember, one was like Mr. Yellow, and he was there to just guide her intellectually, and
Mhm.
Ms. Green was there to sort of give her guidance and compassion of the heart, and an androgynous being, because in the higher realms, often people are not male or female; they're neither or both, however you want to look at that. Um, Red was a being that didn't choose to speak, but chose to interact with her through dance. And so, I mean, the client gained a lot of amazing information. I was like, wow. And she sent me this picture of that. And she'd also had a QHHT session. And her vision, when she got to like her past life, and was at the threshold, great gateway of the spirit world, was this infinite table where there were just beings lined up on both sides of her at this amazing table, and they were all her helpers and people with her, like her soul group, who were just like over infinite lifetimes, were just
Wow.
part of her. So yeah, the artists always are like, wow, they can really visualize, which, and the people who meditate are easier sometimes to get to that phase or state where they're able to
Absolutely.
comfortably let their conscious mind just move over to a chair, or just be in the room but be at the side, so that.
Yeah. So, so do you feel like, because as I was listening, I feel like maybe we see in this between lives, we see what resonates with us. So the artist saw hands that were different colors. And then you said some people saw different color, like robes, white robes, or different things. So do you feel like they appear to us in whatever we need them to? Maybe
Absolutely.
whatever
Yeah.
resonates with us, whatever resonates with our vibrations?
I had a client, it was kind of funny. She said, oh, it's my mother who's my soul guide. And I'm thinking, well, that's a little odd. And then, the soul guide takes off the mask and says, because it was more comfortable for her to envision that at first. And
Yeah.
and a lot of people have that happen, that they have an expectation. And so our guides, our spirit team, meet us where we're ready to be, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. This has been so well informative, educational. I appreciate that. I didn't really know. I'd not heard of BLSR before, so it was great to really learn more about that. Can you tell us a little bit about where we can find you, where people can book a session, your website, Facebook page, all those things?
Yes, if you look up Beth Beyer, Reno, Nevada, or Reno Hypnotherapy, QHHT, that would be the website. Reno Life Between Lives.com will also work. So also, yeah, Facebook page with just my name, Beth Beyer. So yeah, kind of cool stuff.
Awesome, awesome.
Let's see. Okay, now I've got to look. Oh, good. Well, Beth, how awesome is that? Another Beth. But maybe Janine would like to address you.
Yeah, well, I was just pulling up our comments. I saw there were a couple. See Suzanne and Beth there. So it's good to see you guys. Um, I don't think I have any questions for you, but I'm going to let you finish with this one last question. What advice would you give to someone because this is very deep work. I mean, it takes a lot of energy. It's very fulfilling, but it's a little hard too spiritually for us, but the fulfillment definitely outweighs the any hardness, but it's
Any
deep
challenge,
work.
right? Yeah.
It's deep. So what kind of advice would you give someone who may be looking into being a QHHT practitioner or BLSR or some modality similar to this?
It does seem generally that the first course of action is to mop up our ethics, right? I mean, we would like to be people. I mean, we all quote want to be good, whatever good means. But
Yeah.
being non-judgmental is important. Being able to meet people where they're at, that kind of internal spiritual work that is. Yeah, it's just really important to do that kind of thing. And then, of course, I mean, there's any number of courses out there. So
Yeah.
start reading books. And, I don't know how many books I've read on this topic, and I keep reading. I've got a new book that I just downloaded from Kindle the other day about, oh my gosh, I didn't know so-and-so did, a different, slightly different technique. But there's always more to learn, right? I mean, there's always
Always.
a bigger place, and more to grow and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'd look forward to seeing anybody on Zoom, or, just check out, I've got a booking page on my website or Facebook site. You can, book an exploration call, see if it's something that you're interested in. Yeah, I'd love to talk to people. I mean, it is kind of my retirement work. And so I'm passionate about doing this work. I really want to help people. And honestly, I feel like this, for me, it is a good use of my skill set. And that. So,
Yeah.
and heartfelt.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Tell us one more time that website.
You could look up Reno Hypnotherapy, QHHT.com.
All right.
Reno, Reno Life Between Lives, or find me on Facebook or one of those. So yeah, and I'll post.
Yeah, everyone book a BLSR session with Beth. Go to her website, book a session.
Great.
I know she'll take really good care of you. So, but thank you so much again, Beth, for being on the show. Now I want to transition to some live readings. I want to do some live readings. And Beth, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to pull a card for you and do a reading. Anyone else that wants a reading, just post something in the comments. Let me know that you want the reading. If you have a specific question, put it in the comments. If you just want a general reading, that's okay too. I'll pull a card and give you a reading, but I'm going to start with Beth.
Great.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. And this is the Akashic Tarot. So these are past life cards. So sometimes when I pull a card, I will get a message that it's about a past life. And sometimes I'll see that past life pretty clearly. And then sometimes it's about the current life. So it just depends on whatever spirit wants to give me today. All right. So I'm going to pull a card. And so it's Archangel Raphael upside down. So it's the reversed Archangel Raphael. So the reversed card with Raphael means that you're a healer. Basically, it means that you have a lot of healing power. And I think we already know that. I'm sure you already know that. But there's more that you can tap into. So what I'm seeing is that you need to meditate and reach out to Archangel Raphael, that he is guiding you. He is ready to, what's the word I'm hearing?
Embrace.
Up your game. Okay. You're
We're
still
on it.
playing small. You're still playing small. And he is saying it's time to up your game and he will help you. So just meditate and ask for his help during meditation. But it's time to up your game is what I'm hearing.
Thank you, Janine. That's fabulous. I love that. Totally love that. And I love being on your show. Bring me back sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm going to do some more readings. So thank you so much again, Beth, for being here, and take care.
All right. Thanks so much. I'll be backstage.
All right. See you. All right, guys. Okay. So we are going to do some readings. I've got some messages here, so I've just got to get these up there. There is Reno Hypnotherapy, QHHT.com. That is Beth's website. So make sure you go there, book a BLSR session with her. All right. Suzanne, of course, I would love to give you a reading. Suzanne, if you guys don't know Suzanne, she is an amazing medium, an amazing intuitive, and has been such a blessing, huge blessing for me. So, okay. So you get the treasure. This is the Two of Keys, Suzanne. It's the treasure. This is so good. So what I'm seeing is that there are so many big things coming for you. You need to keep, and I know that you're so busy. But keep just doing what you're doing. Keep moving forward with what you're doing and helping people, healing people, teaching people how to heal. I see that you are such a big part of raising the collective consciousness of humanity, raising the vibrations of the earth, and helping people to awaken. That is a big part of your role, and it's going to get bigger. I see that it's going to get bigger, that this treasure that you've barely got a few coins out of the treasure chest so far. And oh, you're writing. I see that. Oh, yes, absolutely. Keep writing. Awesome. Okay, Beth. Let's see here, Beth. Okay. Oh, Beth. So you get the waterfall. So the waterfall is the Six of Forces. So I see that as purifying, that you're getting ready to, or maybe you're already in a season of purification, of cleansing, of releasing trauma, cleansing, so that you can step into your power, so that you can step into who it is you're meant to be, who it is you are meant to be. But you have to, what I'm hearing is that you have to let the water cleanse you. You have to let, and sometimes that takes some deep work. That takes some releasing, some things that you're holding on to, and also letting go of things. I feel like there's something that you're still holding on to that you need to release to be able to get this waterfall cleansing that you need to be able to move forward. All right. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Oh, April made it. Oh, okay. Wait, I don't want to miss anyone. Let me go back up through here and make sure. Oh, this is kind of hard to navigate. Okay. Okay. So Mike Goff. Okay. All right. Let me pull you a card, Mike. So you got the Queen of Forces reversed. This is about a woman in your life. I'm seeing that this, for you, this is from a past life. This is a woman in a past life who meant a lot to you, who was very powerful. She was a spiritual healer. She was a spiritual healer in a past lifetime. And she was very important to you, either a mother or a spouse or sister. Not sister. It was a mother or a spouse in a past life. And this person is also in this lifetime. But there's some conflict in this lifetime with that person. And so there's some karma. There's some karma that's happening in this lifetime that needs to be cleared. This is a person who's very close to you, very important to you, but there's been some conflict. And now that could be completely someone who you've completely removed from your life. This could also be a spouse in this lifetime. I just know that it's a woman. I'm not seeing who it was or who it is, but this is someone that came over from a past lifetime. You do have a soul contract with them. They were very strong spiritual healer in that lifetime. They may be in this lifetime too. I'm just seeing the last one, but there's some things that you need to resolve with that person, and hopefully you know who that person is. I'm not seeing who that is, but there's some conflict that needs to be resolved there. So, all right, April. Okay. April. Okay. So you get the King of Scrolls. Whoops. And he's upside down. So the upside down King of Scrolls. So, I feel like this is about taking control of a certain situation. This has something to do with your business. This has something to do with this has something to do with your job, your business that you're in. And I feel like it's saying write a new business plan, write a new plan for your business. I know you're a hairstylist, you're a salon owner. But I feel like this is saying it's time to make a change and write a new business plan. It's not showing me that that's a different business necessarily, but there's some kind of new business plan that needs to be made. Something needs to change in your business. And I don't know if, I feel like it's the structure of your business and maybe what you charge. Need to raise those prices. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So I don't know what that means for you, but definitely is something to do with your business. Okay. All right. I'm just going down through the comments. Let's see. Okay. Alexa, really going through a hard time with love of reading. Absolutely. Okay. So Alexa, you get the summer, winter, and it's reversed. It was upside down. It's reversed. And so the summer, winter means you're in a season of change. In a season of change, and going from summer to winter is usually a harder change. So there's something going on, something that's recently changed in your life that is causing you pain. I feel like maybe it's causing other people pain as well. This could be a loss of a job or a relationship. I'm not real sure, or it could be both. But what I'm seeing is that winter will be over soon. Winter will be over soon. You're going through that season of change from summer to winter, and you're in that winter season right now. And in that winter season, it's cold and it's dark and bleak, but spring is coming. Spring is coming, and the flowers will bloom again in your life. And so that's what I'm seeing, is that you just keep on keeping on. You keep moving forward. You make decisions based on your head, not your heart. Make decisions based on your head, not your heart. And the storm will pass. The storm will pass. All right. Okay. We got. Oh, thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. I'm glad. Okay. Just want to make sure, Beth. All right. And April. Interesting. All right. I think that got everyone. So just thank you guys so much again for watching. I love doing this. This has been so fun. Thank you again to Beth Beyer. Again, make sure you check out Reno Hypnotherapy, QHHT.com. And I'll also post it in the comments so we have that. Schedule a session with her. It'll be great. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next time on the Happy Soul Show.